Alright, so I have my walnuts and I have my big pan over here that I'm going to use to put the husks in. This is where I'm going to put the nuts, obviously. Try and save them as best I can. And let's see how this goes. So, probably could just hammer these, soften them. Yep, I guess I could, couldn't I? Peel them off. Take that husk off. This is really messy. These gloves that I have on, I actually have latex gloves on underneath them. So, it's pretty much all of it. Put that in there to dry. Let's do it again. These husks. Look at the nut. Not sure how I'm going to dry those. I'll have to do a little bit of research and see what the best way to dry those is. I know I'm going to take these husks and I'm going to get a really nice dye. Stain. I'm going to simmer it down a lot more than most people do. A lot of times it's pretty thin. I'm going to try and get it nice and thick. I don't know if it'll work or not. I hope it does. Smash it with a hammer. Pull off the husks. There we go. And there are some people out there, some recipes where they don't even bother taking the nut out. They just crush everything all together. But I want to save these nuts because I kind of like to eat them. It's August. It's the end of August. September's coming around. I don't know if that's good or not. And if I can get some holiday walnuts, that would be just fantastic. Alright, so I'm going to keep doing this, and I'll check back with you later when I have all this done, and we're going on to the next step. So you can see I've accumulated a little bit here. Just smack it on these rocks, pulling off the husks. Some of them are a little bit more stubborn than others. Some people don't even take the nut out. Some people will just crush it all up in a bucket. I'm trying to break these up a little bit because I've heard that if you break it up, it breaks down better. Of course, I'm putting the nuts in that other jug because I am saving them. And this piece here, this is a piece of stone I got from a friend of mine in Alabama, Michael Edwards, and I'm not sure exactly what this is. He sent it to me because he thought maybe I could flint knap it, but I don't know, maybe I can if I get a little bit better, but I think it needs a little bit of heat to really get flaky. But look at how square that is. It is just a nice piece of rock. Not exactly sure what it is. Maybe hornstone, I don't know. So just going to keep doing this. The best part about this is not only will I have dye, but I'll have all kinds of walnuts for Christmas. Thanksgiving. These are local too. I believe they're organic in the fact that they haven't been sprayed with anything. So really cool. So I'm going to keep doing this, and I'll check back in a little while once I have this, kind of pretty much full, like maybe like 3/4. Then you start making the dye. One thing about when you're processing these is they smell so good. I can't even, hard to even explain the smell, but almost like, I don't know, they're perfumey, but not in a bad way, like a delicious way. Yeah, they have a, I don't know, I wish I could explain it, but it smells so good. If you can capture that, you know, maybe you could. If you had walnut trees, you could, I know it sounds ridiculous, but you could take these shells and just kind of rub them on you in the morning. Ah, they smell so good. So good. So I've got about half of a, this is a good one. Those black ones, those are the best. Real, you know, a little bit older. The dye is already coming out of them. So I have about, almost half a pan. I might do a few more, but I think I'm actually going to leave it at this and see what happens. I think half a pan is good, because when I fill this with a bunch of water, it's going to simmer down. I imagine I'm probably going to fill it with a little bit more water and let it simmer down again. And I'll lay these out to dry. And eventually have walnuts there. Awesome. Alright, when I start boiling, I'll check back in. So this is what I ended up with. I'd say probably about half a pot, maybe 3/4. We'll see. Tried to break them up as best I could. And here's the nuts that we're going to save. Can't wait to dry those and eat those. Oh my god. Delicious. So I'm going to put this just on a little bit below high and see if I can get it to come to a boil. I don't think I want it to rapidly boil. I think I just want it to come to a boil and then maybe keep it at a simmer so I can get all that good pigment out of the husks and see what we can get for a dye. And then I'm going to probably strain the husks out of there and reduce the dye even more to make it thicker, to make it more of a stain. So we'll see what happens. This is my first time. Alright, so you can already see how dark this is getting. I just turned the heat on. We haven't even gotten to a simmer yet, but look how dark that is. So we're going to extract all that black walnut pigment out of these husks. Then we'll skim the husks off and reduce it even more. But I'm pretty impressed about how dark it is already. Maybe I'll do a test and see, you know, how it stains on wood. Alright, so that's our update. After all the husks are strained out, a little bit right there. It'll start to thicken. So after I strain this, I'm simmering this down to about 1/3 volume. It's starting to thicken up a little bit. Where I strained all the walnut husks out. Now we're just simmering it down. Okay, so this is what I came up with last night for the dye. I do have another half quart I just didn't have a lid for, so I think I'm going to use that to sort of experiment with. One thing that I did not do in this process that I'm going to do, I thought I could get around it, but is I didn't strain it. I didn't run it through a filter of some sort, like a cheesecloth or something like that. I basically just ladled off the top of it, you know, hoping that there would be no debris in there. But the last one, the half a quart, there I did notice it started to separate a little bit, almost like in an oily effect. I don't know if it's because there's still debris in there. There were little itty-bitty pieces of debris when I tried to wipe it on, when I dipped a piece of wood in there and tried to wipe it on a piece of wood. So I'm going to eventually strain these, and I think I'm going to strain the half a quart that I have first. But as you can see, it is nice and dark. I might actually even reduce this a little bit more. I don't know if you can see, but it's really liquidy. I might try and get it down a little bit more to like the consistency of molasses. See, I'm gonna get a real nice dark sticky stain. But really cool. They self-sealed just like when you're canning. I heard them pop. So I'm assuming that they'll be relatively shelf stable for now. But anyway, okay. So I have the half a quart here that I was talking about, and a piece of cedar wood. It's just a piece of scrap cedar fencing material. I get it for free at a local fencing company. I use it for friction fires and things like that, and just figured I'd take a look and see what it looks like on that cedar. I have already experimented with another piece, but just briefly. I dipped it. I didn't really rub it in. So I'm wearing gloves because obviously you know, this stains, and I already got it on my hands. Guess I should have put the glove on the other hand, since I'm right-handed. Would have made a little more sense. So you can see it's staining. It's definitely working. Looks a lot better rubbing it into the wood than it did when I was dipping it. And this stuff, if it gets on your hands, it stays on there for a while. So there's the difference in color from when we started. Sorry, everything's backwards. It's hard for me to get everything in the camera. So that's where when we started. Or, I'm sorry, that's when we finished. And this is what it looked like when we started. So it did actually stain pretty good. We'll wait and see what it looks like when it's dry. Let's give it a little more. I think, like I said, I think I'm going to reduce this down a little bit more, or at least one of the jars, just to experiment with it. I didn't have a small enough pan that I'm willing to put through the, you know, the rigors of blowing down these husks, because it does do a number on your pans. You can clean them and everything, they'll just never look the same. You can still use them for cooking and everything. But my wife would probably kill me if I used our good small stainless saucepans. So I stuck to my playpan, which is basically a crock pot type sized stainless steel pan. Alright, so again, there we are. There's the stained side. There's the unstained side. Oop. So I'll come back when this dries and we'll take a look and see what it looks like. All right, so it's super windy here. We have a storm rolling in, but I just wanted to give a comparison. This is the second coat that I put on. Whoa, look at these trees. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but these are big, big trees. All right, so anyway, here's the side that is not stained. All right, and if we flip it over, here's the side that we do have stained. Again, I don't know why, but the camera is just not picking up the difference as much as I can see it. But that's after the second coat. Maybe if I get a closer up picture. So unstained, stained. So I'm a little bit more impressed with this than I was at first. I'd probably still boil it down a little bit more than I did, but you know, all things considered, I stain the edge just to see if a more porous surface would pick up more of the stain, and obviously it did, because of course it's going to. But so that's it. I don't know if this will be the last video or if I'll put a third coat on there, but hope everyone's doing awesome. Stay safe. See you later.